So many people would be knowing me. Already I've worked in CSE department of Tagore Engineering College. So I thank the management, dean and principal of Tagore Engineering College for supporting me and also for recognizing me now and giving me this wonderful opportunity. And also I place my special thanks to head of department and the faculty members of CSA department. And so friends, I hope you know what topic I'm going to just deal with about. I'll share a screen. So So please make the session very interactive. So it must not be from my side alone. So let it be like a discussion also. Okay. So if the content is from my side alone, it will be very boring. So please feel the session very interactive, and you can share anything with me also because I'm also a student right now. Um, you already would have known about what is object-oriented programming, right? So in terms of C++ or Java, the base of object-oriented programming is same. Okay. So while we speak about C++, like when we talk about C++, it is like a basic language where we will deal with the basic concepts of C and C++. But when it comes to Java, here we talk about the different methodology, how the Java will be used in handling the object-oriented concepts. So totally it is going to be different. Okay. So before starting the session, I would like to just give you the overview of the session. So what we will be doing. Okay. So we will be just seeing what is object-oriented programming and how this object-oriented programming is going to just help you in yeah, like what are the contents. Or first of all, we'll see about the basics of it, and based upon it, what are the programming constructs? Okay, so in interview point of use, you see, they won't for the Java and all these concepts, they won't just ask about you the basics alone. Okay, so they will just always test your programming skills. So in programming point of view, we will simply see what are the topics. So how to know whichever problem is given. So how to analyze it and how to bring out the solution. Okay. So for we'll start with a simple problem and also we'll deal with some problems also. Okay, it will be very interesting only. So at the end of the session also I'll be giving some one or two questions. You can try also. Okay, just you can guess the answer also. And if you want any things, you can just give me in chat box. Okay. So please don't hesitate to reply or just give any solution because you need to try first. Okay, so before just going back, whatever question is asked to you, whatever opportunity is given to you, you have to give a try. Okay, that is the main thing you have to do. So with not wasting much time, I'll go into the concept. So you know about the traditional programming concepts, right? So what are the traditional techniques we have been following initially, like all the unstructured programming, the procedural programming which we've been following, all the machine codes which were. So we came across all those machine language, assembly language, and all those things, and we have ended up in very high level programming languages. So quickly we'll see what are the traditional things you know. So initially the assembly and machine language programs, which was the combination of like the machine codes, a combination of zeros and ones. Then we are emerged to the assembly language, which is an intermediate language. So, what is the main purpose that we have come to the topic called as object-oriented programming? Is like, see, for example, here I've given a real-world example. Okay, so for example, here you are just going to create a data, like you're going to have a database, or you're going to have a construct some car or a truck, any company. Okay. So generally, for creating a database for each and every criteria, using the normal procedural programming. Uh, Here, using this object-oriented programming, that is using the Java concepts. Here, we are going to have a generalized method. Okay, so which can be used again and again. That is a reusability technique. Okay, so for that, for example, if I'm going to search for a car in the database. So instead of going and searching each and every car and that giving a specific name or giving it specifically generalizedly if I'm giving, so generally all the things will come. So on again on specific basis, if you are typing something, you will be getting a specific like that. For example, in a company, if you want to update some details about the car, its color or its engine something, you have to in procedural programming you have to go into the specific car, specific engine type, and everything you have to do that. But in object-oriented programming, we don't need all such things. There you will be having a generalized variable, generalized method through which you can access any vehicle and through which you can vary or you can just update anything. That is the main advantage of using this object-oriented programming. Okay. So in similarly, if you see if you want to change the color, engine size, transmission type, there we have to create a form for each and every color, every engine size, every transmission type. But simply here what we will do is we will be using a general class called vehicle which contains car, truck and all the vehicles which you want. Just we can have a separate method and separate class for accessing those things. Okay, this is a small simple scenario to just deal how to deal with this object oriented programming. Similarly, when you have any problem in anything, again same thing. If you want to correct it, particular there will be some particular method and particular class to access to just alter these things. So instead of going to entire forms and entire creating it from first, we can just use some specific method and we can update the changes. Okay. So this is a just general difference between the procedural programming, and here already I think you have come across all those things. So here to share the main main part is here it is majorly it is a top-down approach. That is, here we will be having we will be coming from the basics. We will be having set of full problems and we will be dissolving it to find a solution. Here, from the solutions, we will be dissolving and we will be getting the what is the right way to reach the problem. That is why it is called as the bottom-up approach. Okay. So here it's very less secure and like all those things here. And here you will be having several techniques which are all considered as some advantages, and that is given that is given in the difference between here. Like you will be having techniques like overloading, overfunction. So in terms of theoretical wise, if you see overloading, this overriding and all now, uh, it is just you'll be thinking it is like doing a very simple thing. But in terms of reusability concept, the concept of overloading is very advantageous. Okay, so we're seeing the forthcoming programs how it is working. So generally, when moving on to the OOP concept, okay, so what is OOP? I think you'll be knowing very well. Okay, so this object-oriented programming, it is just mainly it is going to deal with the basic structure of class and objects. So class and objects is like you will be having the concept of the programming models will mainly work upon the objects. So here the word objects and class is going to rule the world of object-oriented programming. Okay. So whatever things you want to include into the variables or methods, everything, it will be accessed only using this object. So before knowing about this, before going deep into this, you have to simply know what is this object, what is this class you must know. Okay. So what is this class and what is this object? So whatever each and every object which you take to access something, whichever you take to access or to just forward something that you consider as a object here. In software terms, they will tell it as a real world. So whatever real world objects, real world things that we have, that is called the same object. But here, whichever thing that is used, that is having a specific variable, that is having some properties. Okay. For example, given some dog, yes, if there is a dog is an object. It should have some properties such as it should have a name, it should have a color, like that, right? It should have a breed or like it should have some specific properties. And what is a method? The object should have variables and methods, right? I told you. So if a dog is there, it is having these properties. So what are these action things it can do? That is the method. What it can do is barking, fetching, sleeping, or biting, all those things. That is the method part of this. That is a object's purpose. Like it will be just handling the both variables and methods. Okay. So moving on, like there are several examples. Okay, so like example for house and car. So what is how to know? You have to know what is the object. So for an object, there should be a particular state and it should have a particular behavior. So the apt word of the variables and methods is it should have a particular state and a particular behavior. Okay. So this is a very important term about the object. So moving on with the classes, like what is class? Class is nothing but the state I told you. Like which category you can also take which category the dog comes under, or which category the things come the objects come under. You can tell that as simply as what is the structure of the objects, what is the structure you're going to provide for the each and every object. So not moving very deep into the things, we can just quickly move on to the concepts here. So how the class is being like given. For example, the example of classes, you are having a class called as car. So categories of the car is you have different type of the car. So what are the different types? Like you have Mercedes, BMW, Audi car like that. So the general category is called as the car, and the main objects are called as the different varieties of the car. But every object is the part of the class only. Okay. So this is the simple definition of the what is class and what is the object. Okay. So other examples are given. So if there is a class called as an account, how it will be having the state and behaviors. Okay, so these examples are given you what is the relationship between the class and the object. Okay, you must know what is the main difference. Okay, so the main general concept that we are going to focus is like what are the main object-oriented programming concepts. So object-oriented programming, where you can just tell that these four are the pillars of object-oriented programming, right? So have you all come across these topics? So can you tell me what is abstraction? Anyone? Please come forward and speak. What is abstraction? I think you've come across Java concepts. What is abstraction? Any idea? Any idea? So whatever things that you want to showcase to the real world. Okay. So, for example, there is an aeroplane, right? So you need to know. We need to travel to from one place to another. So what we all know is we need to just board the plane. We know to sit it safely and drive alone. But we will not be knowing what are the underlying concepts of it. What are all the things that is being done at the back end to take the arrow to take off the plane until it is yeah, just taking off. So till that, what are all the things is there? We will not be knowing. The main thing which we'll be knowing is whenever we sit, whenever the signal comes, the plane will take off. Then whenever signal again comes, the plane will go down. So other things and all is being hidden from the passenger side, right? Whatever is happening. For example, something has happened at the outside also, we will not be knowing. So this is the example I'm just giving you to remember the concept of abstraction. So we will be knowing whatever is important to us. Other things will be hidden from us, right? This is a simple terms today. I tell about the abstraction. And what is encapsulation? What is encapsulation? Encapsulating is like the same the abstraction word. So whatever we don't need, we leave it. Whatever the important things we need, it is being packed into a single content. Okay. Like example, the behavior state I told you right about the object. So the very important things alone, it is being hidden from the outside world. Okay. So that is nothing but the abstraction and encapsulation are like it has been a bonded term. Okay. So whichever is important will not be outshown, only using the like whichever classify this one you want methods, perfect methods which you want the security measures only you can access the encapsulated variables. So this is the main difference and the relation between the abstraction and your encapsulation. And moving on to the inheritance and polymorphism, this is a very important concept in the object oriented programming. Okay, so inheritance and polymorphism, like the very important concept here, and based on this only we'll be getting n number of problems, right? So what is inheritance and what is polymorphism? Inheritance, generally to tell one class to another class, a grandfather to a father to a child. Okay. So if example a grandfather is having a property of some 10 crores, he will give it to his father. Again, that is being passed to his child. So like that. So whatever they can, they are the parent class is having, they will be sharing it to the children class. Right. This is a simple concept of inheritance. So here in Java, how it is been working, we'll be seeing in detail. And polymorphism is like you'll be having one same example. Simply to learn about the polymorphism, you are a student like in college. So in the house you will be like you will be a child to your mom. When you go to a shop, you will become a customer, right? And when you go to some other place like an office or this, you will be a colleague, right? So to the place where you go, you will be having a different method or a different name, okay? But you are one. You are a one person only. So the place where you're going, you will be acquiring different methods. Okay, you will be doing you are the same person but doing different methods. So that is called as polymorphism. So one person doing different activities. Okay, so this is the general concept of these four are the general main principles of the object-oriented programming. Okay, so very important concepts. Okay, so just please listen to the programming parts also. So first we will move on to the concept called as abstraction. So abstraction is nothing but like it is like you're going to hide the complex and unnecessary details. Okay, whichever details are unnecessary and very complex, you're going to just hide everything, and you're going to expose only which is very which is only important to the outside world. Okay, so and while telling it in other words, what you can tell is they will provide the security for the data. Whatever data we are having, so from the unauthorized access, the abstraction method is going to provide us the security. That is the main advantage also we can tell. Okay, and how to use this, how to implement this abstraction inside your program is like you have to use this abstract. Like this is the coding that is being given for the abstract. How to just implement the abstract lab. Okay, so you moving on to the programming part, if you see, so if there is a class, you know what is the basic structure of the Java program, right? Everyone will be knowing how the Java program will look like. You will be having a class name. Under the class name, you will be having some variables, some methods, and for calling all those, you will be using public static void main, right? Public static void main. See this part now. There you will be creating an object, and using this object, you're going to access the methods, right? So this is a general structure of the Java program. Here I'm going to implement the abstract class. Okay, how the abstract class is going to be, how it is going to be just first. So here I've given the class to be abstract. So and also the method to be abstract. So when a class and both a method is given abstract, I'm just using a another class called as rectangle and another class called as circle. Okay, right? See the program now. So both programs I'm having same methods here, and using a from in this public static void main, just I'm having a small I'm creating a object called as yes, and I'm just giving draw alone. Okay, so please see to this line in whichever program in interview point of time, either in your online exams, if they ask you, your main focus must be on this line. Okay, this is the object creation part. For example, shape is a class, okay, and S is the object. New is the term which will be using to create a new object, and circle is one more class. You have to see this is the object created based upon this class, but the second line, the line which is coming near the new operator is the main class. So to which class this S is being pointed, you have to look at. So here S is pointing to the circle class. So in the circle class, it has to draw. It has to just implement the draw method. So see, draw method is also present in the rectangle also. Okay, it is also present here also. But since the object created is focused on the circle object here, so in the circle object, what is the output? That output will be given as your final output. It's called drawing circle. So instead of giving here, instead of like giving new circle, shape S is equal to new of rectangle. If I give rectangle, what my output will be? What my output will be, ma? This is the basic line which you have to know throughout the session. So if I'm giving shape S is equal to new rectangle, what my output will be? Come on. Will I be getting drawing circle, or I'll be getting drawing rectangle? Am I audible to all? Am I audible? Sir, I'm audible, sir?
Yeah, you can see the answers in chat also.
Yeah, like you see, I've created a shape object, right? And this object is pointing to the circle class. So to that method called dot draw. So here the circle class is giving you an output called drawing circle. If I'm replacing with the circle as a rectangle, my output will be drawing a rectangle, right? So whichever class I'm just giving with a new operator here, that object will be just sending the request to the particular method in the particular method. So here it is circle, so the focus will be going towards this method. So I'm getting drawing circle. If I give rectangle here, then I'll be getting my output as drawing rectangle. Okay, so this is the basic of Java program. So only in this place they will be twisting the control of the program. You have to Java program. It will start only at the place of public static void main. Okay, that is the basic thing that you have to know. It won't start from the first line, second line, third line. The Java program, or you can say the C++, whichever, the control of the program will be going to start from the public static void main. So here you have to see where the object is pointed and which method it is going to be accessing. Okay, so since here both class and this is abstract, then your respective control will be going and getting the output as drawing circle. Okay, so this is one example. Here I didn't give any abstract method. Just please see here. See this is an example. In this method I didn't give any abstract method. This is I've created a class called as abstract class base, but here I have not told the fun is a method that is being used inside. So here I have not just given a word called as abstract void fun. So when the method is not given the word called as abstract, you will be getting a compilation error. Okay, so because the method, you see here I'm creating an object called as b and b dot fun. Since in abstract class, whenever this is a very important question you must know in every point of time, like if you're going to create a class that is abstract, the method must also be abstract. So if they are giving a program like this and if they're asking what is the output of the program, then you have to check. Okay, so object is created. This object is going to be fun method, and the fun method you have to check whether it is abstract or not. If it is not abstract, straightly you can tell it is a compilation error. If it is an abstract, the output will be base class method. So you will be getting this line as base class method. Then, so this is the very important point. If a class is termed as abstract, the respective method must also be abstract. Okay, this is a very important concept in abstraction. Okay, and one more is with constructors. If you have you know what is a constructor, right? Constructor is created using the class name itself. So when you are using a constructor inside your program, like when you're calling when you're using constructor, your constructor must be placed inside the abstract class. Okay, when if it is placed outside the abstract class, then you will not be getting your answer. Whether then the part inside the constructor will not be evaluated. So whenever you are using an abstract class, and whenever a constructor is being placed, you have to check whether the constructor must be placed inside the abstract class. So constructor must be where it must be. Constructor must be placed inside the abstract class. So in the abstract class, you have to have the constructor within it. If the constructor is present outside, you will not get that part inside the constructor. You can't run the part, or you can't get the output that is inside the constructor. That is the one important thing. So since I placed my constructor inside the abstract class, I'm getting the output here. Okay, so if this part is placed outside the abstract class, then I will not be getting the output called as base constructor call. Okay, so that is the thing you have to know about the constructor part in abstraction. So if I'm again similarly for moving on to the different multiple methods, if you're using multiple methods inside the abstract class, how it will be? So whatever things you have to give the method name as abstract. You can use the n number of methods inside the abstract class with the abstract keyword, and you can get the output. Okay. So here I'm getting using get, add, and display. So in the program you see get, add, and display. So all the methods I have been already have initiated as abstract methods. So if I didn't if I've just written void add alone without abstract keyword, then I would not get this output. I will be getting it as compilation error. So in abstract class, each and every how many ever methods we are using, all the methods must be given abstract keyword, right? So moving on to the next concept. So are you clear about the abstraction? So what is abstraction? So whatever things that you're going to make abstract, that is very particular, that alone will be shown outside. Other things which is outside the abstract part will not be given as the output. So whatever you're giving within the abstract class, that alone will be shown to the outside world. Okay, that is the main purpose of the abstract class. So majorly in real-time purpose, they will be using this for the security purposes. The data which alone must be shown to the outside world. Other things they will not be revealing out. So whichever is needed to show out is being kept inside the abstract class. Okay. So other things will be secured, or you can tell it as encapsulated also. So encapsulation is nothing but you're going to just keep all the data members, like all the states, all the methods, variables are very private from the outside world. Okay, these things will not be just given out. So here, a similar same concept, like you'll be having a class, methods, and variables. Um, Here, instead of the variables, if you see, I'll be using some private variables. Here, I have to use a word called as private keyword. So to use this encapsulation, wherever you see a private keyword, then that variable it cannot be accessed easily. So the what is this encapsulation? It is binding of the data and the variables into a single entity. So you have to consider a single entity. So this is not much popularly very used. This is only again used for the security purpose only, like where you need authentication and all, where you certain things like authentication, security, where you will be checking about the confidentiality. There you will be using this encapsulation techniques. Okay. So, for example, I've given you see the data fields whichever you are using, you have to give the data fields as private. Okay. So I'll be just asking some just questions related to this abstraction. An abstraction, if you see, just note about just take a note of like this. Uh, can we define an abstract method inside a non-abstract class? So, if you want to use a method, abstract method, can we use that non-abstract method inside a non-abstract class? The answer is no. So, as I told you, when you are using an abstract class, you must also have the abstract method. So, if abstract method is present, the respective class must also be abstract. Okay. So like this will give you a compilation error. Again, if either the class is not abstract or the method is not abstract, you will be getting a compile time error. Okay. So just see to this program now. Just find out which option is having errors. Come on, anyone? Please try. Can you see this? Which among the following code is having errors? So I've told you about the abstract class now. There are 5 options: A, B, C, D, E. So can you tell which option is going to give you the wrong answer? Come on, try it now. See, the first one is abstract class, but the method is not abstract. So the option A will give you the error. Okay, and B also, you see the class is not abstract, but the method is abstract. So the option B is also going to give me an error. Here both are abstract, so I won't be getting any error. Here again a class is abstract. Again here the method is not abstract. So if this condition can be present, but until and unless I'm using this method, if an object is going to access this method, I'll be getting an error. If else, it is also going to not give any errors. The last one is it won't give any error. So both are given abstract. Okay. So like this, you will be getting some different terms, like different combinations of problems to guess what is the correct output. Mainly, you have to find what is the error in the program. Okay. The similar string. See, unless I'm just accessing this program, here I'll be getting the correct answer as whatever, because the method I'm giving is abstract only. So I'll be getting the output as 1 only. Okay. So I'll please try certain problems here. So back to the concept, right? So next concept we will move about polymorphism. Okay. So what is polymorphism? So polymorphism, as I told you, like you can take a parent class. So initially, a person will be having different methods to work on. So here you can say like one person he will be doing many activities. Okay. So very like a real time example, what you want to give is like it is like you can perform a single action in different ways. The word poly means like many. Like so you are going to a single entity is going to perform different actions. So mainly the polymorphism concept is going to be mainly used for the reusability concept. See in this example, if you see, I'm having a method called as view and shape called as draw. Generally, I'm going to draw a shape. Okay, so this, drawing a shape is going to remain constant. So what I'm going to draw is going to differ. Whether I'm going to draw a line, a circle, or a triangle is going to differ. Okay. So similarly, editor is going to print a file. He is going to print something. What he is going to print? Either he is going to give a PDF file or ASCII file or a PS file. Whatever that part is going to, okay, that entity is going to differ, but the criteria is going to remain same. The thing is we are going to print something. Okay. So polymorphism lies under this basic principle only. Okay. So there are two types of polymorphism you'll be coming across. One is the static polymorphism that we'll all be calling it as compile time polymorphism, and another one is your runtime polymorphism. Like runtime means while or like performing the while we are compiling it, we will be giving the input and we'll be getting the answer. So we'll see just quickly. We'll see about the what are the different concepts under the runtime and compile time. So runtime polymorphism, if you see, you will be doing the casting work under in the public static void main part. So when you are giving the object creation. When you're after the object creation only, the part of runtime polymorphism is going to happen. Okay. So with the example I'll give you, see, in this program we are going to have a animal class. See, animal class, and I'm having the subclass as dog. Okay. So in this dog class, I'll be having some content I'm having. Okay. So both the classes I'm having the same method called as move. Okay. So the main part is the control of the program lies under the public static void main. See, for the animal class, I created a object called as A. Again, for the animal class, I've created another object, but pointing to the dog class. Okay, so this B object is going to refer to the its control is going to the dog class. So when I'm giving the methods of move here, so A dot move is going to the control of animal class. So the first animals can move. This part is going to be getting printed, and B dot move, as I told you, it is going to the dog part here, and this is going to get printed. So only at this point I'm creating an object and I'm just matching it to the class, and I'm just matching it to the method here. So at the runtime when you're going to match the objects to the respective method, that is called as the runtime polymorphism. Okay, so can you get me what I'm coming to tell you? So at the runtime, only at this part I'm just matching, right. In this part I'm matching the object to the method. So when I'm doing it in my runtime, that is called as a runtime polymorphism. Already if it has been instantiated, or if it has been already initialized under the class and it is already ready, then it is called as compile time polymorphism. Everything has been ready, just we are just accessing and we are just calling it. But here only at this point the control is going to start. And another example I'm giving you. Here is the runtime polymorphism is there. Like here you will be having a person class, employee class. Okay. In this part, if you see, I'm going to create an object for the employee class. Okay. And for the employee class, if you see, I've already instantiated a salary here. So in this salary, it is going to just print an output of 1,000 rupees, because for this one I'll be having my salary here. This, since this class is extending the person class, my control is going to this salary part. I'm getting an output to be 1,000. Okay, so the control will go to this class. If it is not extending, I'll be getting my output to be 2,000. Since it is extending this person class, I'm getting this instance. This is already its instantiated. So in the runtime, the control will pass from employee class to person class. Okay, only in the runtime the control is going to pass. I'm getting the output of 1,000 here. Okay, so runtime is going to differ completely from the compile time polymorphism. So this is the example of the compile time polymorphism. So here at the compile time polymorphism, I'm just giving you the values to the method here. Please listen here. Already I'm just having the initialize, like I've for each and every method I've given the variables. I've given what the operation to be done. Just I'm passing the variables alone only. So the compilation completely it will happen under the each and every method. So I'm just giving the passing the variables alone, and compilation already it has been ready, like a plus b plus c, everything has been ready under the respective methods. This is called as the compile time polymorphism. So you're going to use the same method name called as sum, but just the variables are going to get differed. That's it. Okay, so same method, different entities you're going to use. Okay, so the output will be like, for first one is going to go for, since based upon the number of variables you're going to instantiate. Like here I'm giving 3 means the control is going to go to the this part where I'm having 3 variables. If I'm giving 20 comma 20, the control will go to the first one which is having only 2 variables. So here I'm having a plus b. So this output I'll be getting, right? So only based upon the number of variables, number of object that is accessing which class, my control is going to the respective class. Okay. So one more very important concept is the virtual concept in Java. So the very important word is virtual. If I'm not going to give anything as any part as virtual, generally my control is going to go to the respective. I'm going to get the output. So just see here. Similarly, I'm going to have a class in the public static void main. I'm creating a variables and accessing the respective methods that is being given. So see, in get animal, see I'm having a method called as get animal and passing some variable. Here, I'm getting generally this part alone. Okay. So since my method is private, see I've given the method as private. So non-virtual methods are private. Fine. So whenever we have given any method to be private, like for the purpose of encapsulation, if you are giving some method to be private, then your in polymorphism, you will not get any output other than the part which you have given. So if it is private, only this output will be printed. How many ever times you are going to access the object. So this is a non-virtual method. When you move on to the virtual methods, here I'm removing the private keyword. So when the private keyword is replaced with the public keyword, okay. So here I'm not going to give any private. So the methods which is having the same name called as G animal. So the G animal methods, all the output from the respective method name is going to be given here. Like this is the cat, this is the dog. So whichever method I'm going here I've given wrongly. It is actually GANN. Okay, so it is not get animal, GNN. So the respective control is going to go there. Since it is public, the respective classes with the same method name is going to be called, right? So this is the virtual methods in Java. So moving on with the inheritance concept. So as I told you, inheritance concept is very very important. Since I told you like inheritance is like you're going to have a parent class, then you will be having several child classes. So how many? You can have one child class, you can have two or more child classes. So based upon the class, like whichever property you need to access, you can have any number of classes. So here, what is the main purpose of having the inheritance concept is inheritance is just going to access the properties of the parent class. If I want something from one more class, I need not create a variable, I need not create a separate method for it. Okay. If example, if I'm having a car, if I'm having a car features like color is there, engine is there. If I want to give model number or date of manufacturing, I need not create newly. What I can do is I can have just extend to the parent class or whichever class is already present, which is having a variable called as model number or which is having the date of manufacture. So instead of creating newly and wasting the memory, you can just extend it to the parent class. That is the main feature of the inheritance. So the main concept of reusability is being used here. So this is the main purpose of inheritance. So inheritance, basically inheritance, I told you like it is being used for data hiding concept and extensibility. So and one more is like dynamic binding. At the runtime, you can also bind it to different parent class and you can achieve different variables and methods that you want to call at the runtime. So that runtime only it will be very useful. So we can just see what are the different relationship how the inheritance is keeping. This is the example of inheritance. I think you'll be knowing what it is. So moving on to the code part, just look here. There is a parent class here, child class here. As I told, I'm creating a new object here. So here I'm creating an object for child. Here I'm creating an object for the parent, right? So when I'm accessing the respective methods from here, see the child class dot p1 means here the child method will be printing. Again the child class dot p1 means here p1 is the method of the parent class. So since I'm using an extend keyword and extending, I can also use the content from the parent class. So again, parent class object dot p1 is parent class can have its own method only. So that is the main. You can just reuse the codes. Fine. Based upon different inheritance properties, you can have different type like single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, or multiple and hierarchical hybrid inheritance. What are these inheritance? You can one class. I can have one parent, one child, or I can have one parent, different child, or I can have different child with different parents. So combinations, how many ever methods you like to call, or how many ever subclasses you like to have, based on its inheritance can have different classes. The programming construct will also differ. So this is the structure of the multi-level inheritance. Okay, so how the concept of multi-level inheritance will be. Like I'll be having a class, again a B class, which is a subclass of C class. This is the general this one. And this is the programming how the multi-level inheritance will be happening. So when you're creating an object called display, so this display will be inside the subclass of B, which is a subclass of A. So if I'm calling this display something, but the data variable is present in the outside A class. So the control first public static void main, I'm going to create an object for this C class. Okay. So C class, I'm going to give an object. So this object, I'm just going to access the method of this C class only. But you see where the control is flowing. Here I've just asked to print the data, but I don't have the data here. So again, the control is going to the inside the parent class of this. Again, the control is going to the parent class of this where I'm getting data. So here I'll be getting an output of 10, right? Can you get me here? So inheritance out, how many ever class you can have, just you have to extend the class from which you need the features. So from which you need the data. So for example, for the car, I told you, if I need the model number or if I need some data manufacture criteria, whichever class is having that feature and that method alone, just you have to use the extend and you have to extend the properties of the class. Okay, this is the basic This one. And other hierarchical methods is like some more classes which will be having multiple hybrid inheritance and all those things. Okay, so some programming part also we can just see. And one more important concept in Java is I told you constructor, right? What are the basic rules of constructor? Is constructor should be having the class name and all those things. So in programming part, if you see, this is the constructor. This is a constructor, and I'm giving something here. Constructor doesn't need to be given any special object. If it is just given itself, it will be if it is given inside a class itself, it will be we need not create a separate object for the constructor, and we not create. Once we are just initializing constructor itself, its output will be filled inside it. Just you will be getting the as it is. But one thing is you have to give it inside a class which is named as public. Okay. So constructor must have the proper syntax, and it must be given inside a class that is public. Okay. Then only it will be executed without any errors. Okay. And one more important concept in your now, object-oriented programming is overloading and overriding. So, in interview point of time, they'll be asking you what is overloading, what is overriding. So, as I told you, overriding is mainly used in the inheritance part. Okay, so where the method is alone used, but overloading is nothing but one person doing several tasks. Here, you're going to use only one task, but whether the task is present in your own class or in your parent class. Okay, so remember that overloading is I'm only one class. I have different methods. I have to do all the work using my different methods. Overriding is like I'm a person. Okay, I can if I want any new method to be done, I can seek the help of one parent class. So I can just use the method of the parent class, and I can seek the data from the parent class. Okay, this is the concept of overloading and overriding, and it's given some difference between also to have like a while one thing is, in case of overloading, you can give different parameters, whatever you can give in the phrases. But in case of overriding, the parameters which you should give, it was the same that of that you given in your parent class. That is the one thing that we have to know. Okay. So these are keywords that you must see by in interview point of time. Okay. And this is an example of overloading and over. See, I told you now, one class they have given, it can do any number of operations, but with any number of parameters. But in overriding, if you see, it is used in inheritance, I told you. So here when I'm just creating an object, here when I'm creating an object for this dog class, I'm just giving this one. I'll be getting both the outputs. Here I've given a simple program. If example I'm just asking for some data, it will go to the animal class. It will get the data from there. Again, it will come and print it. Then only it will execute the part under its own class. Okay. So for that, you have to give the correct method name that is to be called. Okay. That is the only one important thing you have to remember in overriding. Okay. Overriding is like you're going to use the method of the parent class. Right. So moving on to the some question parts I'll be giving you in based on interview. Just try to solve this. So can you just find out the answer for this? What is the answer? Can you try, ma? See, this is the inheritance program. Just listen. Can you just guess what is the output of this program? So I've told you all the basics now. How to create a class. So whenever a program starts, it starts from the public static void main. Can you guess what is the output, ma? Are you there? Only I'm speaking. No replies from that side. So can you guess what output I'll be getting for this program? Anyone? Anyone from the side? Very simple program. So they will be asking programs like this. They will be giving different. They'll create an object for different classes, and they will give you. You have to watch which method it has been given. The object is filled for which class, how the control is going, and how the output is coming. So here it is a basic program I've given. But you see, what is the error I'm getting in this program is, see here, I have given my. I told in this one, if I'm giving my variable to be private, I can't use that private variable inside the child class until and unless if it is given public or if it is not given private, I can't use the private variable inside the child class. Okay, so this is very important point of time. See, like a very important point that you must note when I'm calling a variable, when I'm using a variable from the parent class. when I'm just giving the output, I can't get that variable unless and until it is given private. So I won't get my output. So only if it is not private, I'll be getting my output to be ID is equal to 11. Okay. So here same, but the output you'll be getting name is equal to Adil. That you will be getting since this variable is not given private. If any variable is given private in the parent class, in child class, when you are calling that variable, you will not get the answer. You will get the answer to be compile time error, right? So that is one thing you have to know in the flow of the program. So when a program is given, the variables where you have to be watching carefully whether it is private, whether it is like public, or whether it is given what keyword it is given. Okay, that is very important. One more is like in terms of constructor. If you see, told you all about the constructor. See here, I'm giving a constructor as the same example. I'm just creating an example for this class, and I'm calling the display function. Okay, so while I'm giving the display function, see my output to be null. So when I'll be getting my null output is if I'm just giving like I'm printing a variable that has not been initialized. Here I'm having a variable. I'm not initializing anything. They'll be asking you what is the answer. Like you will be saying name and what the, but you will not be getting like which way how it has been initialized. So you have to see if it is not initialized. Obviously your answer must be null. Okay. So like this, you'll be getting different amount of the problems, like in different constructs you'll be having. So please browse to different things like whichever website, like you are given lot and number of Java interview questions. So there are a number of this. You try different program constructs. So there are very large websites like I'll be giving in chat box also. So if you are free, yeah. So there is a website called as interviewbit.com, and also some one more thing called as leetcodebit.com. So in these websites, if you are interested in programming, okay, they will be giving you some like they will be giving you some problem, and they will be asking you to code. Okay, so you have to give a code for the problem. So you can just visit the website called as interviewbit.com, leetcode.com. There you can register, and you can just perform. You can just give different codings to the problem. Very simple problems. Just they will be asking for some simple solutions only. So whoever is giving a very good solution in a short span of time, they will be rewarded also. Like they will be giving some points inside it. Okay, so it will be very interesting. So programming is a very important part in Java that too. So you have to concentrate on the programming part. So any doubts from your side? Anything you want to ask
Any doubts, ma, you can ask. Any concepts?
about the OOPS concept? Yeah, many have given your answers here. So Raghuram, yeah, your answer is correct. Good. Many have tried answering. So please give a try. Okay. So if any question is asked, only if you give a try, you will get the confidence level. Okay. So unless and until you are not going to try, you are not going to just try it, you will not know what is right and what is right or wrong. So for any interview also, just give a try and just come forward and just try it. Whether it is right or wrong, don't just bother about it. Only if you try, you will gain the confidence level. Okay. So, sir, I think I've done my part. Too.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, students, for attending during this hours. Thank you, Logeshwari, for your
Thank you,
contribution.
Suji.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. We
Thank you
can,
so much. Thank you all.
uh, okay. You can leave, ma. You can
Thank
leave.
you.
All of you can leave.
Thank you.